Dozens of people have now been arrested. They were busted during an investigation at a Fairfield nightclub.
Police with a search warrant, demanding entry.
The night descends like a curtain of black velvet over Fairfield, the city's pulse quickening under the assault of neon lights that flicker like distant explosions. Streets slick with rain reflect the glow of club signs, where lines of eager patrons snake around corners, IDs flashed under the watchful eyes of burly bouncers. Inside the nightclub, the air throbs with energy, bass lines pounding like artillery fire, bodies grinding on sweat-slick dance floors, drinks sloshed in a haze of laughter and flirtation. It's the ultimate escape, a weekend hotspot where worries dissolve in the rhythm and the glow. But beneath the surface, something darker brews, a storm of illicit deals and hidden horrors waiting to erupt. Outside, in the shadows of alleyways, federal agents gather like predators on the hunt. Unmarked vans hum with restrained power, tactical teams suiting up in Kevlar vests, helmets strapped tight, weapons checked and rechecked. Agent Elena Ramirez, lead on the op, feels the adrenaline surge through her veins like liquid fire. She's a veteran of these wars, scars from border skirmishes and cartel ambushes etched into her skin. "This is it, team," she whispers into her comms, voice steady despite the knot in her gut. "Search warrants green. Intel says drugs, guns, trafficking, undocumented running the show. We going hot, no mercy." Her partner, Mike Harlan, nods grimly, chambering around. "Copy that. These networks are spreading like cancer. Time to cut him out." The breach explodes into action. Doors kicked inward with a deafening crack that echoes like gunfire, flashbangs detonating in bursts of blinding white and ear-splitting thunder. "Federal agents! On the ground! Hands where we can see him!" The music screeches to a halt, replaced by pandemonium. Screams ripping through the air, bodies dropping like felled trees, glasses shattering in a cascade of shards. Agents flood the space like a tidal wave of black, laser sights dancing across the chaos, pitting suspects in crimson dots. Ramirez leads the vanguard, weaving through the panicked crowd, her Glock drawn and ready. A bouncer lunges, fist swinging like a hammer, but she sidesteps, delivering a sharp elbow to his solar plexus. He crumples, gasping, as cuffs snap on. They hit the back rooms first, where the real ugliness hides. Locked doors, battered down, reveal stashes of narcotics. Bricks of cocaine wrapped tight in plastic, methamphetamine crystals sparkling menacingly under emergency lights. Firearms tumble from hidden compartments. Glocks, AR-15s, suppressors gleaming with oil, an arsenal fit for a siege. And the people, undocumented workers frozen in terror, employed as bartenders, security, cleaners, their dreams of opportunity in America twisted into chains of exploitation. "Please, I just came for work," one young man pleads, hands raised, but the law demands justice tonight. Dozens arrested, hauled out into the flashing blue and red of squad cars, the night air alive with shouts and sobs. This isn't just a bust. It's the opening salvo in a nationwide war, from Colorado's jagged peaks to Los Angeles's glittering sprawl, Charleston's steamy alleys, to New York's unyielding grid. ICE raids are tearing open the underbelly of criminal networks hidden in plain sight, empires built on drugs, weapons, human trafficking, and illegal immigration. In 2025, with border crossings surging past 2.5 million encounters as reported by Customs and Border Protection, and fentanyl overdoses claiming over 110,000 lives annually according to CDC data, these operations strike at the heart of a timely crisis. Families of the arrested cluster outside, faces illuminated by news camera lights, voices rising in protest. "They sought the American dream," one mother cries, clutching a faded photo. But for the feds, it's proof. These clubs are breeding grounds for crime, poisoning communities, and exploiting the vulnerable. Before we plunge deeper into this high-octane thriller of takedowns and revelations, hit that subscribe button. One click fuels the fire behind every explosive expose, keeping the truth armed and ready. The Fairfield raid detonates across headlines like a summer blockbuster, viral clips of the breach trending on social media. Police storm in with warrants demanding entry, no negotiations. The venue, operating far beyond legal bounds, crumbles under the assault. Inside, the facade shatters. What looked like an ordinary party spot was a fortress of felony, a hub where deals were struck in whispers amid the din. Investigators comb through the debris, bagging evidence that paints a picture of systemic rot. Narcotics worth millions on the street, firearms traced to black market suppliers, staff with forged papers, all tied to broader syndicates. In the aftermath, Ramirez debriefs her team in a dimly lit command van, maps sprawled across tables. "This is bigger than Fairfield. Intel links to Colorado." Harlan nods, wiping sweat from his brow. "Yeah, and with the election heating up, politicians are screaming about border security. These raids are the front line." The timeliness hits hard, as debates rage in Congress over immigration reform, with proposals for stricter enforcement amid rising cartel influence. Operations like this underscore the stakes. Communities feel the shockwaves. Neighbors who once danced there now lock doors tighter, trust eroded in an era of fear. Cut to Colorado Springs, where the Rocky Mountains loom like ancient guardians over a city on edge. The after-hours nightclub operates in defiance, no licenses, no oversight, a magnet for organized criminals and undocumented shadows seeking refuge. Investigators, fueled by tip-offs from deep cover informants, have been watching for weeks, drones hovering silently, wiretaps capturing coded conversations. The raid launches at 3 a.m., when the party's winding down, but the real action peaks. "Breach now!" Ramirez's voice crackles over comms, even though she's coordinating from afar this time. Local teams ram the doors, flashbangs popping like fireworks in the dark. The interior erupts. Patrons scatter like rats from a floodlight, but agents are faster, tackling runners mid-sprint, zip-tying wrists with ruthless efficiency. A kingpin in the VIP lounge draws a concealed pistol, finger on the trigger. Harlan spots it, shouts, "Gun!" A non-lethal shot rings out, the man dropping with a taser jolt. Seized in the frenzy, kilos of cocaine piled like snowdrifts, methamphetamine vials clinking in crates, a cache of firearms that could equip a militia. "Major disruption to an embedded network," the task force leader declares. An oppressor later, face stern under spotlights. Federal, state, and local agencies unite here, a coalition forged in necessity, highlighting 2025's push for interagency collaboration amid escalating drug wars. The network's roots run deep, twisting through Colorado's underbelly and linking to national epidemics. With fentanyl flooding in from Mexican cartels, as exposed in recent DA reports showing a 15% spike in seizures, these busts are timely lifelines. Communities reel. Parents who lost kids to overdoses see hope, while others decry the human cost. "It's not just crime, it's lives destroyed," a local activist tells reporters, voice breaking. The momentum builds, sweeping to Charleston, South Carolina, where humid air clings like a shroud over industrial zones. Warehouses squat in the gloom, hiding nightclubs that pulse with forbidden energy, gritty venues far from glitz, where deals go down in backlots. ICE agents, tipped by surveillance footage and mole intel, gear up for the assault. Cartel ties confirmed. Ramirez briefs via video link. Trafficking, gambling, laundering. Hit him where it hurts. The raid unfolds like a precision strike. Agents rappel from rooftops, smashing through skylights in a rain of glass. Federal raid. Down on the ground. Chaos reigns inside. Tables overturned, cards scattering like confetti, Victims herded from hidden rooms where trafficking chains bind them. Arrests mount. Dozens with international links faces a gallery of defiance and despair. Evidence floods out. Human trafficking rings trading lives for profit, illicit gambling setups with stacked decks of dirty money, ledgers tracing laundered millions through shell companies. These aren't clubs, they're command centers, an agent mutters, bagging counterfeit chips. For investigators, it's validation of how sophisticated groups camouflage operations, a narrative echoing 2025's global crackdowns on trafficking, with UN reports noting a 25% rise in U.S. cases. Communities nearby feel the aftershock, a reminder that danger hides behind familiar doors. "I walk past that place every day," a resident confesses to news crews, eyes wide. "Never knew the monsters inside." The raids restore a fragile peace, but underscore ongoing battles in an age of porous borders and shadowy alliances. Los Angeles enters the fray, the city of angels transforming into a battlefield of lights and shadows. Underground nightclubs thrive in the sprawl, supported by global syndicates that weave through Hollywood's underbelly. Homeland Security Investigations partners with task forces, plotting in war rooms lit by screens of intel. Multiple targets, simultaneous hits. Ramirez commands, now on the ground in L.A. The ops kick off at midnight, doors battered down across sites, agents pouring in like Avengers from the night. Arrests cascade, dozens collared in the blitz, large sums of cash tumbling from concealed safes, drugs flushed from VIP lounges, financial documents snatched that map empires of exploitation. "This isn't immigration alone," officials emphasize in briefings. "It's dismantling predators preying on the weak under entertainment's cover." The contrast is striking. Guests in designer threads sipping champagne amid flashing lights and booming beats, unaware of the rot below, narcotic stashes, trafficking evidence, counterfeit equipment humming in basements. Surveillance cams capture the web. Mexican cartels funneling methamphetamine and fentanyl, Chinese groups orchestrating finances and coerced labor. Their multi-state network thrives in plain sight, a timely threat amid U.S.-China tensions and cartel violence spiking in border states per 2025 FBI stats. Days later, the action escalates. Coordinated arrests ripping through LA's veins. In Monterey Park, a suspect bolts from a supermarket, agents in pursuit. Aisles of canned goods topple as Ramirez leaps barriers, tackling him amid crashing shelves. "You are under arrest." In Fontana, a high-speed chase roars through suburbs, tires screeching, engines revving like beasts, ending in a spin-out outside a quiet home. Residents gawk from lawns, phones capturing the drama as IC and DAs swarm. "Strategic strike on the pipeline," investigators reveal, exposing how cartels supply poison while Chinese factions run exploitation from parlors to clubs. The system blends with legit businesses, evading scrutiny, but raids expose it all.